stand here in the sun. Let's face the sun. Let's stand here for a moment. Let's just get quiet, because you know what? We're going through some shit right now. We're going through it. This is not an easy time. I'm receiving so many downloads that it's seriously not letting me sleep. What's up, family? I can't see you because the sun is crazy beautiful and bright. But I'm praying you're well, and I wanted to get on here just to have a conversation about the ways we have failed our youth. The ways we have failed our youth. I'm gonna go and do some writing today for a little while, but I'm gonna do a reading, a live reading this afternoon for people between the ages of 20 years old and 33. I'm gonna do a millennial reading, a live reading, where folks could do 3 p.m. because I'm feeling deeply that we have not prepared our people for what's happening right now. I don't think that our youth are ready. Those who have graduated high school, those who have graduated college, they're not ready. I feel in my body so much pain, so much anxiety, so much worry, so much grief, so much uncertainty. Right now, shit is hard for a lot of people. So I want to spend some time receiving downloads for young people today. I have, one of these days I'm gonna take pictures and share publicly, but I have over 100 journals of my writing. And this morning I woke up thinking about when it was that Spirit began to speak to me and speak through me. Not just speak to me, but when was it that I actually began to listen to what Spirit had to say? You know? Bear with me, because I'm definitely freestyling, and this is totally a stream of consciousness live. I'm feeling my heart chakra feels blocked. My throat chakra feels blocked. My gut, my solar plexus, my sacral chakra feels blocked. And I'm worried. I'm worried for our young. I'm worried for millennials. I'm worried for people who are unemployed right now, our young people. I'm worried about everyone in general, but I am intentionally speaking to our young folks. Yesterday I got home from running errands. Yesterday I got home, Maferefun Oggun, and there were at least 30 young men chilling in front of the building. They were hanging out, smoking, playing dice, no masks on, not a care in the world. Not a care in the world. Let's get some air on. And I thought to myself, wow, I thought, they don't think that this shit is serious. They don't think that they can be touched. And I wonder how we have failed them, what we have given our young people to believe in, how we have spiritually prepared them for this battle that we're experiencing, because there's several battles happening right now. And how are our young people prepared? And I'm not, we have our young people who have graduated from university, or those who have graduated high school and are going to university, that have a certain mindset. They want better for themselves. But then we have a community of young people who don't have direction, who don't have purpose, who don't have drive, who don't care, who just don't care. And so I'm thinking about young people. I'm thinking about their mental health, and I'm thinking about how it is that one gets spiritually aligned. Period. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about alignment, because a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of requests for readings. How did I get spiritually aligned? I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to share my story time. I was 19 years old when I met the father of my daughter, my eldest daughter. I was 20 when I got pregnant. Now, I will tell you that I am from born, bred New York, born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, and I did not want to be a mom. I didn't want to be a mom, because one of the things that I believed was that I promised myself that I would never fuck up my child the way I believed I was fucked up and damaged and traumatized and abused. Like, I was inherently certain about that I was never going to have a child. I don't know what I thought my life was going to become, but I did not believe that I was made to be a mom. I didn't believe I was nurturing. I didn't believe that I had the skill set, because I was tough. I was tough because I was raised to be tough, because I have had to face some real hard shit. I had to use my hands in these streets. And so I get pregnant. In 1991. I get pregnant in 1991, and the funny story about that shit is that I was living in Providence at the time, and my mother and I went to see a bruja, una mujer que leía carta, que recibía San Miguel, que le bajaba San Miguel, y entramos en la casa de ella, and the moment we walked into this bruja's house, we walked in. I remember sitting in the waiting room on these hard chairs, and she calls me and my mother in, and the moment I sit down, she says, "Congratulations." And my mom and I are like, "For what?" And she's like, "Estás embarazada." My mother said, "¿Cómo?" That's her voice. "¿Cómo?" Her eyes and everything. "¿Cómo?" And I was like, "What? Nah, ma, she's bugging. There's no way. I'm not pregnant. But in my heart, I was like, damn, I'm fucking pregnant, yo. And this bruja totally outed my shit. I go and I take several pregnancy tests. Sure enough, I'm pregnant. One of the things that I was terrified, because the first thought was, Papi's gonna kill me. My father's a very strict Dominican dad. I won't say I was raised in a super Catholic household, because I'd be lying. Yes, we have faith. Yes, we believe in God, but it wasn't one of those die-hard situations. My mother and father kind of relied on neighbors and family members to introduce us to religion and stuff. And I had this woman, Mrs. Rogers, who used to take me to church in Queens, me and my brother. And I was an angel. I used to be in angel pageants, singing all those beautiful Jesus songs. Let me see if I can sing you one. Dun, 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 hark the herald angels sing. That's what you get. But anyway, my brother and I used to be in pageants. We did the Wizard of Oz at this church. We used to have Christmas shows. It was cute.
And it was the only sort of religious dogma Fabio and I were receiving. We went and we got the body and the blood of Christ. I have been confirmed. I got my communion, my confirmation. I am baptized Catholic, but it wasn't like super. I think it was older, and I'll get there, older, that I went to church for different things. So my father was gonna kill me because en su casa no le iba a salir una hija preñada. Eso nunca iba a pasar. Let's get that straight. No daughter of my dad's was gonna come in this house and be pregnant. Not today. I was pregnant and scared. My mother's like, tu papá no va a matar. That's what my mom kept saying. Tu papá no va a matar. Va a matar a ti, me va a matar a mí. And that was real fears, fam. Like real fears. My father was scary coming up. I was pregnant. And my mom is like, tú te tienes que casar. Tú te tienes que casar. And in my mind, I'm like, get married. You bugging. Get out of here with that. That's never going to happen. And so I, told the father of my daughter that I was pregnant. And we were both terrified because we're young. We're young. I'm 20. Just graduated high school. 20. What do I know about being a mom? And abortion was an option. Abortion was a thought. Because like I said, I didn't want to be a mom. I was terrified of damaging a child. I don't know when it was, what was the moment, but there was a moment where I said, I'm keeping this child. And not only am I keeping this child, but I'm going to be the best mom I could be. I vowed and made a commitment. And when my daughter Courtney was born, I remember writing her a letter in her baby book and saying to her, vowing my commitment to her as a mother. I vowed that I was going to do my best to be a good mom. I was going to do my best to unlearn some things, to reprogram myself, to decolonize my mind, to not brutalize her, to not abuse her, to not project my toxicity on her. I made a lot of promises about the kind of mom I was going to be, and that I was going to do the fucking work. I was going to fucking work so hard, day and night, to be the best mom I could be. That's 1991. 1992, she's born. And I'm not the best mom. I turned 21, homie. I wanted to be up in the club. All I wanted to be doing was drinking. I did not want to be home taking care of a baby. The waking up in the middle of the night, the changing diapers. I was like, damn, this shit is hard. My daughter also was born with a lot of heart problems, a lot of breathing problems, and it was like a lot. And so once she was feeling a little bit stronger, para mí era fácil dejarla con un abuelo, my parents or his parents, so that I could go out and shake my ass in the street, because I was 21, and that's what 21-year-olds do. We want to go have fun. We want to be free. We aren't sitting here thinking about spirituality and the future and foundation and being grounded and alignment. At least I, at 21, wasn't. I can't speak for all 21-year-olds, but I will speak for me at 21. And so I was reckless. I was destructive, self-destructive. I was self-sabotaging myself at every turn. I was making dangerous choices, not just bad choices. I was making very dangerous choices with my life during that time. I was drinking. I was smoking. Not that smoking weed is a terrible thing, but I was putting toxic things in my body without a care in the world. And I was certainly not thinking about how my actions would affect or further traumatize my newborn child. I wasn't thinking about that. 21 goes by, 22 goes by, 23 goes by. 23 is a very 24 entering 25 was a very scary time in my life. The year is 1995. And for those of you who know me, you know what happened in 95. For those of you who've read my memoir, Finding Your Force, if you haven't read it, get it. Finding Your Force, A Journey to Love. It's a memoir I wrote for my daughter, and I published in 2011. It's a love letter written to my daughter. In 1995, I was violently raped by a person who was my lover at the time. It was brutal, it was scary, it was a possessive relationship. He was obsessed with me. And I was like, I'm Brooklyn, like that. The man who puts his finger, I wish he would. I wish a motherfucker would. I was that, because I could back it up. But in this scenario, I was in a very violent, scary moment in my life that if you ever need to call on God, it was that moment. That was the, yo, God, if you get me out of this jam, I swear I'm gonna be different. Of course, I failed epically, back and forth. Like we live, we learn, we fuck up. That's the beauty of life. But I certainly was praying to get out of that alive. And the funny thing is that I wasn't just praying to God, to help me out of this, and I was gonna try to be a better person. I wanted to get out of that moment because I wanted to kill him, actually. I was like, get me out of this alive because I want to fucking kill this person. I said those words. I actually went as far as to ask my cousin, Loose for Your Spirit, to get me a gun because I wanted to kill him. God, forgive me. Forgive me. But I was desperate. Because my feeling was, oh no, this motherfucker's not. No, he's not gonna kill me. It was one of those life or death situations, and it was one of those your life or mine kind of moments, and it was certainly survival of the fittest, for real. I'm being real honest today. Well, tonight, because it's probably dark for a lot of people right now during these times. So, my cousin and some police officer friends were like, because I definitely call my police officer friends. I'm someone who's I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck about, I wasn't thinking I could be in jail and not see my daughter. Like, I wasn't thinking straight. I wasn't thinking rational. I wasn't clear. I was just like, I need to survive this moment. And if I need to kill this man to live, I was gonna do it. Oh God, it was horrible. It was horrible. The shit we have to live through, and the things that we have to navigate, and the tests that we have to endure, and know that this is a test that we are being called to endure. Everyone convinced me not to do it. Those who were more clear than me. And so I ran instead. I filed with the help. I went into the Providence Police Department to file a restraining order. This man, me wanting to kill him was serious, because he went into my job to pull me out of my job during lunch. I was the secretary at a public school in Providence, a public elementary school. He came into this elementary school and asked me to step outside for a moment to speak to him, and like a dumbass. That's another thing, people. When you are with someone that you feel that your life could be threatened and they invite you somewhere private, don't do it. Because you don't know. You think, I'm going to just go and give this person a shot. You got to listen to your gut, your instinct. Mira lo que le pasó a Selena. She went to meet a fan in a hotel room, and we all know how that shit went down. I went outside with him in front of the building. And I'm standing in front of my building, and I'm standing 1 foot in the door of the school and 1 foot out, because I wasn't trying to step outside with him, but enough to be like, what? What do you have to say? What do you need me to know? And he was like, I just want to give you something. I said, all right. He said, give me your hand. I pulled my hand out, and he put 2 bullets in my hand and went like this. That bullet is for this person, and this bullet is for this person. Think you're leaving me. Like, this is the shit I was going through in 1995. And I was like distraught. I was terrified, for women who get restraining orders today, it's like, get restraining order, need restraining order. That shit don't fucking work. That piece of paper. I wanted to take justice into my hands. I was desperate. I listened to reason. I listened to reasonable people, to people who love me. And I filed the restraining order. And this day was one of the many humiliating days of my life. I walk into this courthouse. Now, in the early 90s, before I got pregnant, I was a model. In the 80s, I was a model. Late 80s. So I was, I was 6'1". My mom wanted that for me. She wanted me to be in beauty pageants and to model and to do runway and fashion shows, which I did. I walk into the courthouse to write a statement for the restraining order. And across from me at the clerk's office of this courthouse is a woman I was in pageants with. And I started crying because I felt so embarrassed. I felt like trash. Me sentí como una basura, como una mierda. Como que mira como mi vida se ha convertido. Look at what my life has turned to. A woman who is supposed to be top runway, Tyra Banks status, traveling the world, international supermodel type shit. Mira a Alicia con este tigre con basura, recogiendo basura en la calle. Ella también es basura. That's what I believed. So I was humiliated. I felt humiliated. I felt ashamed that I had, that my life had felt so low in that moment. And she embraced me, she hugged me, and I wrote it. And I needed to, this person lived in Boston, so I filed in Rhode Island, but the documents needed to be sent to Boston, Massachusetts, needed to cross states. So I had a friend from Boston handle that for me. And when I knew this person was going to be served, I left the country. I left my daughter with my mom and dad, and I left. I bought a ticket, any ticket. I went to a travel agency and I said, I got this much money. Where can I go for like 14 days? Because I wanted to be hiding somewhere. I bounced. I got a round trip ticket to Margarita Island. I went to Venezuela. In the first few days, it was the first time I'd ever been away from Courtney. I was a mess. I was crying. I was lonely. I was on this, it was all-inclusive, so all my meals, I was good. I wasn't like balling like that then. I go to Margarita Island and I meet these beautiful people. Like I'm social, when you go on these tours like that, you meet people from all walks of life. So I met these people who were on their honeymoon. I met these people from Canada, and we had dinner together. We had meals together. We went on sightseeing. We went horseback riding. I ended up having a really beautiful time, but I was running. They had no idea what my life was prior to them meeting me. Like I could have been dead. I could have been dead. I could have been a wrap. And in the midst of that, my ex is trying to take my daughter away from me because I left the country. So there's like all kinds of shady shit happening while I'm away. They can live in my life, but motherfuckers don't know that I was trying to save my life. I was trying to save my life. I was making moves to get a new apartment because I didn't want him to. He knew where people in my life lived, so I needed to change like a lot of my behaviors. I needed to even leave that job to be transferred to another school. It was fucked up. Let me take a sip. So I get a beautiful apartment, a new apartment. It's a fresh start, a new beginning. I was putting that behind me. 96, new life. In 1996, he served out of my life. This is all like 95, ending of 95, September, October, November, December, January, February. I think it was me getting my tax return. That makes sense that I would have like a chunk of change to bounce. I think I used my entire tax return to be like, deuces, I'm fucking out. And I get this beautiful apartment near Brown University in Providence on Hope Street. It's beautiful. White walls, 3 bedrooms, huge living room, dining room, huge bathroom. The bathroom could have been a bedroom. This is how gorgeous this house was. We lived in a Victorian house. It was fucking fabulous. And Courtney was so happy. I was getting my life back. And I have a really dear friend, my best friend, Lolita. Lolita, if you're listening or if you watch this, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. My best friend, Lolita, she's been my best friend for my daughter is 28. We've known each other since she was 2, so 26 years she's been my best friend. She's light. She's a beacon of light and her faith. She definitely is someone who came into my life who came with a lot of spiritual gifts. She was very connected to spirit and dabbled in a lot of different practices and was exploring life, and she was opening me up to a whole new world. And life was good. My daughter was happy. My daughter Courtney was so happy. You know, she would never have known that I was going through this stuff, that just months prior, a man had his hands around my throat and pinned me to a bed and tied my hands up over my head and violated me. She would have never known that. I'm sorry that it did not say that this entire live is a trigger warning. I apologize. And we were living life, and I was free, and I felt beautiful and strong and felt myself. I felt more myself. I felt my becoming happening. I felt my growth. I was in a relationship with someone, and this person was many, many, many years older than me, and it was a beautiful relationship at the time, but also not a great relationship. And so I was kind of in and out, like not sure if this was like a casual thing, because I really wanted to make good choices and mother Courtney, you know, properly. I didn't want to just have, you know, lovers coming in and out of the house. That's never been me. And so I decided that I was going to leave Rhode Island, and I traveled to Florida. I went to Florida to give Florida a shot, and I had great luck getting jobs, but I was still kind of seeing this person. So I came back to Rhode Island. I was on sabbatical from the schools. I was chasing love, doing stupid shit that we do in our 20s. And that shit failed. I came for all the wrong reasons, because this person was never going to be committed. When people show you who they are, believe them. He wanted what he wanted. He wanted a good time. He wanted light. He wanted, you know, Alicia, you know, the hot ass, but not necessarily Alicia the mom, you know, because he wasn't trying to have that responsibility and all that. And so it needed to end. So what did I do? I was desperate to get out, because I'm like, look at what the fuck you doing. You came back, you uprooted your daughter again. You are absolutely exposing her to dysfunction and irresponsibility and instability, and like, nah, this shit ain't gonna work. I got 3 jobs. I was working at the school department, I was working at the strip club, and I was working at an Italian restaurant. I was desperate to make the money to go back to Florida. I was like, go back. My whole family went. My whole family followed me to Florida, and they were there. My brother, my sisters, my mom, my dad, and I was like, you know, my support system is there. Let me go back. I saved like, I want to say it was like $10,000, like in a matter of weeks. And went back. But before I went, while I was working at the strip club, an interesting thing happened. I was trying to understand why I was making the choices I was making in my life, and I had began the journey. I want to say it was then, when I was working. If I had to pinpoint an exact moment, 1998. Someone do the math for me. 98, 91. In 91, I was, in 92, I was 21. So in 98, I was what? What was I in 98? 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. 27? I was 27. 27 years old, I began my journey toward spirituality in a real way. I began to, I went to the library, and I think I took out 30 books. I had a crate of books that just the titles, it was all self-help stuff. I was like wanting to OD on books that I obviously wasn't gonna read, because I was working at the strip club, I was working at the Italian restaurant, I was working at this, like I was doing the fucking most. But I knew that I needed a fucking change, and I needed it quick. I needed the drug, and I needed it now. I needed to heal myself, and I needed it now. I needed the answers, and I needed it now. And so I save the money, and I leave, and I have to return all those books to the library, because I never read them. But I continue to collect them. And I share those stories because what's the point, right? Why am I sharing that? I'm sharing that to say that in my darkest, most fucked up, most scary, most hopeless moments, what I knew for certain, I didn't know shit about anything, but what I knew for certain, it was that I could not continue my life the way it was. And I did not want to kill myself. Yes, I have had moments where I've wanted to kill myself, but during that moment, I did not want to kill myself. I might have wanted to kill other motherfuckers, but I did not want to kill me. I wanted to I wanted to learn and tap into my spiritual gifts. I wanted to listen to what Spirit had for me. I wanted to practice in ways that honored me, and in ways that felt comfortable to me, that weren't force-fed to me, that weren't part of an institution, right? There were things that I needed to be pulled towards, that were calling me. You know, if that's 98, 99, 2000, and I won't come to be introduced to Yoruba religion, to Lukumi, to Santeria, and I've been dabbling because I had gotten my own consultations. I had seen my own santeras and curanderos and brujas and brujos and had people prepare things for me, spiritual baths. This is part of our culture. We grow up with it. But to become a practitioner and to listen to that moment would come later, right? Would come later. But I came on here because I was feeling, and I had a hard night's rest last night. I wanted to just check in. Thank you for all the love I'm getting, that I look beautiful. Thank you. Yes, Bri, working so hard, 16 years supporting everyone. Yes. I just want to check in with you. I'm going to be doing a reading at 3. I'm doing a reading for millennials. Like, that's the intention for my 20 to 33-year-olds, specifically for you, because I know you don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't know what to do. You don't have the answers. You don't want to listen to your mom and dad. Your conditioning is all fucked up. You're not in alignment. Your money's all fucked up. You can't get a job. You're inconsistent as fuck. You don't trust. You don't believe. You don't have faith. You're not grounded in anything. Because you don't want shit that's passed down. You want something that's yours because you want to get there your way. I feel you, I hear you, I respect it. And so I'm going to give you a reading today. I'm going to give you a reading. And we're just going to let the cards, Gael. We're just going to go really fast. And I pray that you listen. That's it. If I have to give you anything, like Alicia, because later on it's going to be downloads. It's going to be spirit, ancestors, our dead, Orisha, all of that speaking to you. But Alicia is saying, listen to the guidance that's out there for you. Listen to your fucking mistakes, bro. Listen to the ways you have fucked up. Listen, and then make a choice today to save yourself. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. Save yourself. I had to fucking save myself. And that's that. You have no idea how much I love you all. You have no idea how much I've come to understand that my healing is our healing. That this work that I do is ours. And so I'm praying for your liberation just as hard as I'm working for my fucking own liberation out here in these streets. I love you. Please be safe, be well, eat well. I'm gonna go eat something yummy. I love you all. Peace.